Well, we are with a big male leopard, and we just thought we would show you guys how tricky it is to see them and see how well they blend in to their surroundings. I'm not sure if you guys have spotted the leopard yet, but as Senzo zooms in with the camera, he will start becoming a lot easier to see. And I was very lucky this afternoon. I didn't actually find him here. I knew that he was in this area because of the guides that were out on the sunrise safari this morning. So he was found in this same area, and he's been lucky in that he's actually managed to catch himself some food. Sadly, where we are here, we can't show you what he managed to catch, but it's an antelope, a similar size to the impala that you saw over with Steve a little bit earlier. My name's Scott, and it's wonderful to have all the kids from Northridge Elementary joining us on this afternoon's safari. Like I said, I'm teamed up with Senzo on camera, and we've got off to a very, very good start. We found him actually sleeping in some shade not too far from here, but he decided to come and take a closer look to where the kill is, which is basically at the base of this very big tree behind us over here. It's going to be difficult to see it in there, but what I'll maybe do is reposition the vehicle a little bit later. It's somewhere in there, but very difficult to see. There's still lots of the kill remaining, so he's still got lots of food, and the reason why he's left it at the base of this very, very big tree is that he knows if any lions or hyena come, if that kill is waiting at the right place, he can grab onto it and use his incredible climbing skills and his strength to be able to climb up the tree while he's holding that carcass in his mouth. And leopards are known to be able to carry their own body weight, sometimes even more, up a tree. Now imagine if we tried to do that. Imagine even carrying something light in your mouth and having to climb up a tree. It would be difficult, let alone something the size of yourself. That gives you a good idea of how strong they are, and it also gives you a good idea of how the leopards are one of the best climbing cats out of all of the big cats in Africa. They're definitely better than lion at climbing, and also definitely far better than cheetah. So the leopards are the best tree climbers. Another animal that is not the best at climbing trees, but pushing them over, is one that Taylor has found on a bushwalk. Why don't you go and see what it's about? Oh, that's very exciting with Steve's kingfisher. We don't see many of those around here, and they are very pretty. Now, Tingana, this big male leopard, is looking fairly alert at the moment, and the reason for that is that there's a herd of impala quite close by. They are out of sight from where we are, but we know they're just up on top of the kind of ridge, and there's also some monkeys, and both the monkeys and the impala have started alarm calling, and we're not sure if the monkeys can see the leopard and the impala can maybe smell the leopard, but they definitely know something's up. Just want to creep forward a little bit and see if I can't show you the monkey. I can just hear there's a monkey somewhere up in the trees ahead of us over there, and they're letting off their alarm call. Let's take a look up in there. I can't see anything for now. Oh no, I actually can see it from there. Have you got it there, Sens? There you are, you're on it. He was right in the center of your frame there. Just a little bit higher up. He's in there. I just saw a move. Oh yeah, can you punch zoom in anymore? Where is he hiding? But quite fascinating that from all the way over there, there was a monkey, and he is somewhere in there. Oh, well done. Senzo's spotted possibly the same one or another one up in the tree. There we go. Oh, there it is. And monkeys are some of the most helpful animals that we get out here when it comes to helping us find leopards, because they can climb up the trees, they've got great vision, and they've also got a good reason to be scared of the leopards, because leopards like to eat monkeys. Now, a lot of you guys at Northridge Elementary would like to know, what is the difference between a cheetah and a leopard? Well, let's take a close look at this beautiful big male leopard. And if we look closely at his face, That's one of the big and easy differences where you can find between cheetah and leopard. You can see where his eyes run down to his nostrils, there's no black line, whereas a cheetah, from its eyes to each nostril, it has what you call a tear mark. So you could imagine a black tear running down from the cheetah's eye all the way to its nose. So it's got two long stripes from its eyes to its nostrils, which the leopard that we're looking at here does not have. And also, as we look at the coat and the belly of this leopard, you'll notice that they've got a group of black spots, and on the inside of that kind of group of black spots, there's a brownie colored spot or caramel colored spots, and we call that kind of pattern a rosette. So it's the black outside with the brown inside, and the cheetah don't have that. They've just got black spots. They don't have the caramel brown rosettes. So those are two kind of easy differences when you're looking at them. Leopards are also much bigger and bulkier than a cheetah. So if you compare these cats to dogs, you could think of a greyhound being a cheetah, which is a very fast, skinny dog, and you could think of something like a Labrador or a Rottweiler being a leopard. Wonderful stuff, and I'm sure if your teacher just gets some pictures of cheetah and leopard and prints them out and shows them to you, you'll very quickly learn how to spot the difference. So that would be a good thing to be able to do. In the meantime, we are going to send you back across to Taylor, who would like to tell you about some poop. Well, can you believe Taylor, the crazy woman, eating marula fruits, eating termites? I wonder what she is going to eat next. As you can see, our big male leopard is fast asleep. He's got his head down now, just relaxing. You can see his belly is heaving in and out, taking lots of short breaths. And the reason why he's taking lots of short breaths is because his tummy is so full of meat that he's been feeding on that he only has an option to take short, sharp breaths. Now, we can actually try and show you his food. It's not going to be easy to see, but it is an antelope. It's a medium-sized antelope called a bushbuck, and it's a male bushbuck that he managed to catch. And I think we can actually just see the bushbuck's ears and horns. There we go. There you can see the horn and the ear, a few flies buzzing about. And just like the termites you saw with Taylor, their role is very, very important here in nature because they eat all the plants that are dead and not tasty anymore and recycle all of those nutrients back into the ground. And the flies that are buzzing around this carcass also help to make sure that nothing goes to waste, and their little babies called maggots will make sure that whatever the leopard doesn't eat, they will, and that way there'll be no meat left rotting around. Very good. So that unlucky bushbuck has become the leopard's meal, and it'll keep this guy well fed for maybe 24 to 36 hours, a day to a day and a half. Something like an impala could keep a leopard going for about 3 days. So they don't eat very quickly. They take their time to eat their food, and they'll often hoist it up into a tree, which I'm hoping he's going to do a little bit later if any hyena come onto the scene. Very good. We are going to be sending you across to Steve. I'm not too sure what he's found you. Well, I'm very happy that you got such a good view of that bird with Steve. They're usually quite shy and difficult to get a good view of. Now, tricky decision as to what to do here, but I'm thinking we're going to leave this big sleepy old boy to continue what he's doing. It's likely that he is going to continue sleeping until later this evening. So we will return here maybe in a couple of hours once it's cooled off and once it's more likely that he will start moving. Lauren, you would like to know how old can leopards get? Well, it's the same as humans. It depends. Sometimes leopards are very unlucky and they may die when they are little babies. Sometimes they die when they are old and they've lived a full life. And a full life for a leopard could be anywhere from about 12 to 18 years. Sometimes there have been leopard that have lived longer, and they've been recorded to live up to about 20 years of age, but that's very, very old for a leopard. And usually it's the males that actually die before the females, so the males don't live for as long as the females as a general rule. And this guy's about 11 years old, so he's getting quite old, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next few years with him. Jasmine, you would like to know how fast can a leopard run? Well, incredibly quickly. About 28 meters a second, I'm told, which if you equate that into 100-meter sprints, it's about 3.5 seconds to do the 100 meters. And if you think that Usain Bolt, the fastest human on the planet, does the 100 meters in about 9 seconds, it gives you an idea that they are 3 times faster than the fastest human that we know of. So they are incredibly quick. And not over a long distance, not like a cheetah. Cheetah can run at a high speed for a long distance. Leopards have got a short burst of speed that they usually have. Taylor, you would like to know, where does a leopard go at night? Well, a leopard really goes wherever it likes during the day or the night, but especially at night, because most of the big cats have got very good eyesight when it's dark. So they've got good nocturnal vision. They can see very well after dark. And what that means is that they sacrifice seeing in color. They don't see in color like we do, which is useful for looking at things during the day. But they are more suited and specialized to hunting their prey and moving around with the cover of darkness. So they move around a lot. They could be anywhere, in a riverbed, out in the open plains, up a tree. They go and do whatever they please, especially after dark. During the daytime, they have to be a little bit more careful about where they move and maybe move through thicker areas where it's difficult for animals to see them. So I think that should hopefully answer your question. Okay, like I said though, this guy's looking quite sleepy, so we are going to head off from underneath this beautiful big jackalberry tree and send you across to Taylor, who has some jackalberry leaf trees in her hand. Well, isn't it the most epic thing that you can chop and change between two big male leopards who are both vying for the turf where we are currently exploring with them. As you can see, Tingana, this male, isn't as active as old Hukumuri is, and I really wonder where Hukumuri is going to end up this evening, because as far as I'm aware, we've never seen these two leopards interacting, nor has anyone that I've heard of, any of the other guides or people. There have been no confirmed interactions between Tingana and Hukumuri. It's highly unlikely that they have not interacted. I'm sure they've had many conversations with one another. Who knows, maybe they've even had a little bit of a wrestling match. But I certainly would love to be able to share any interaction between big male leopards with you guys. It's something that I've seen very little of in my career. And the kind of closest thing to a male leopard interaction I ever saw was this male here, who was acting very similar to how he is now. He was sleeping with Anderson, another male leopard, about 15 meters away from him. They were both taking a breather when I got a gap to go into the sighting, so I literally saw zero interaction between the two of them. You could just hear them slowly, or gently growling under their breath at one another, but that was about it. So I'd like to see something a little bit more exciting. Well, thank you very much to James Richards, and one of our regular viewers who's quite up to date with what's going on. And James has done some research into when last we saw Tundi and her cub, and it was around the 20th of January. So a long time ago. and I'm told that it could have actually been in a sighting with me. Oh, apologies. We only saw Tundi on the 20th. We saw the cub prior to the 20th of January. So that's quite some time to not see that little youngster, and I'm sure we are all going to be astounded at how big it is. I'm sure a lot of you may have seen maybe pictures of her and the cub that may have been taken by other guides on other properties surrounding where we are. Either way, tomorrow morning, unless she decides to pop in here for a visit this evening, but tomorrow morning, let me assure you, we will have a full search party dedicated to trying to work out where Tundi has gone. I think I'm on bushwalk in the morning, which is actually perfect because it's the best way to properly investigate and search for leopards without the constraints of the vehicle. Very good. Well, I'm hoping that this guy is going to get up sometime soon and start feeding on his bushbuck kill, which is not too far away from where he's sleeping now. And while we wait for him to get up and active, we have the joy of sending you across to Hukumuri, who's still hustling and bustling. Yes, best Taylor head home now that the light is beginning to dwindle. As you can see, Tingana is still snoozing, taking it easy. Little does he know that the Hukumuri male, a new imposter into his turf, is heading kind of straight in this direction. In terms of distance, from here to there, I would say a mile as the crow flies, which would take the Hukumuri 10 or 15 minutes to cover. Maybe a bit longer, 20. So, who knows? Maybe he will veer off. Maybe he'll even come straight here, have a drink at the little waterhole, and move past with no idea that this leopard's here. Or his kill. Strange things do happen out here. But certainly some good prospects for an interaction between two big males. I hope Steve has some luck in relocating the Hukumuri male. It sounds like he has disappeared temporarily into a bit of a tricky area. So I guess that we need to hope for. For now, first hope is that Steve relocates. The second would be that we get to see two big leopards discussing who's the boss. Hello, Laikwa, who's just 6 years old. You would like to know, why is this leopard breathing so deeply, such short, sharp, heavy breaths? And the reason being is that he's got lots of meat in his stomach. So if you could imagine you had a big meal, it means that there's not enough space in your stomach for your lungs to fill up with air and for you to breathe. So you'd have to take lots of short breaths because there wouldn't be space in your stomach. As humans, we don't often get into a situation where we've eaten too much. Unless, of course, you had more pizza than you would normally have at something what we call a buffet, where you can eat as much as you like, or a sushi buffet is also dangerous. I find sushi and pizza are two of my things that I can eat myself into the states of a leopard. But we usually have small meals, so we can't really relate to the breathing that this leopard is going through. But I hope that helps you understand Laikwa. And the reason why they do have to eat as much as they can and get as much food as they can into their belly, it's not because they're greedy, it's because they do not know when their next meal is going to be available to them. So they really just have to make the most of the good times. I guess we could also show you guys his kill. He has moved a little bit. It looks like he may have fed on it a little bit while we were away earlier, because it's in a slightly different position. How much he would have fed on, I'm not too sure. But the kill is just over there. Those are the back legs we're looking at, and the head is kind of closer towards us. Still lots of food remaining there. And I'll be very, very surprised if this kill isn't up in the big tree called the jackalberry tree. Senzo's just flipped into infrared now, so that you can hopefully see a little bit clearly, because it was quite dark in there. We've got a special infrared light mounted on top of the camera. Very handy tool. One or two flies buzzing about there. And then, as I was saying, I'd be highly surprised if this kill is not hoisted up the very large jackalberry tree, which the kill is at the base of. There's the nice big tree. So a perfect place for Tingana to hoist the kill in the event that any hyenas come onto the scene. And Lynn, I'm told you were interested to know how much of that kill was remaining. Well, you got to see for yourself. I would say, sure, 80%. He's eaten some of the kind of stomach area, it looks like, and maybe some of the rump, but there's certainly still a lot of food there for him. So, provided it doesn't get stolen, I think he's going to be here for quite a while. Yeah, and lots of food still there. And who knows, maybe he was fairly full-bellied when he arrived on the scene. That's maybe why he hasn't fed on too much. But we cannot be certain. What we can be certain of is that Steve has been successful in relocating Hukumuri. Off you go. Okay, well, thanks, Taylor. Wonderful to have you contributing to the safari, and I'm sure a lot of you enjoyed seeing her eat a termite earlier. What next? We've switched over into the infrared, and as you can see, not much is happening here with Tingana, but something is happening with Hukumuri. Off you go. Yes, he does indeed have his head up. He's still in the same spot where we left him snoozing earlier, but he's definitely looking like thinking about coming and having a snack on his bushbuck kill. I'm confident he'll be here in the morning, unless, of course, the kill gets stolen. So, some great prospects, and hopefully we'll be able to find a full family of leopards tomorrow. The father, the mother, and the cub. That would be golden. It seems like Hukumuri could well be off the property in the morning, but we've got some exciting prospects, like I say, so try and join us if you can. Thanks very much for all your contributions.